Welcome to my channel. Enjoy this video and subscribe my channel. Karine and Paul have had a bone to pick with one another for the longest time. The 90-Day Fiance stars started off as a toxic couple with cheating allegations, which is quite common in the fan base. But as time passed, there was news about their restraining orders and alleged physical abuse, and TLC had no choice but to kick them out of the show after making them star in multiple spin-offs. Since then, they got in a lot of trouble as their kids, Ethan and Pierre, were taken away from them because of CPS. Then, Karine started a GoFundMe to help her garner funds to afford a lawyer for the court battle. Well, a lot of shocking turn of events took place since then. For instance, Karine finally moved on with a new man and announced her pregnancy. It turns out Karine Martins has had a whirlwind of a life since CPS took over her son's custody. At first, she was dedicated to gaining it back, but in March 2025, she announced her pregnancy. The former 90-Day Fiance star shared pictures of her baby bump. Everyone was curious about who the father was. After all, her ex, Paul, is in Brazil, claiming to earn extra bucks to send to support his family. Josh Yates' Instagram page, 90-Day Fiance Update, announced that Karine is having her baby with a man named Michael. However, there were no details about whether they were together in a relationship or agreed to co-parent after finding out about the pregnancy. Fans didn't like this update one bit, and they wondered how she could think about having another baby when two of her kids have been in foster care for a few years now. Since they separated, Paul Stale had a habit of bad-mouthing his ex-wife Karine Martins. He even accused her of wanting to take his life during an interview. But 90-Day Fiance fans know by now that he is not a reliable source of updates. Half the time he is taking things out of proportion for clout, like that one time he hinted at being missing and blogger John Yates exposed him for faking the entire thing. However, this time, Paul provided some shocking information and proof. It was a picture of Karine in a hospital gown holding onto a newborn. As fans already knew she was pregnant, they realized her third baby was finally here. Yet they were in disbelief that Paul shared this on his Instagram story, instead of letting his ex have the privilege of announcing the news at her convenience. Karine also eventually shared the news on her Instagram handle. Fans found it weird that Paul wasn't even the father, and yet he seemed very interested in telling the world about his ex having a third baby. How do you feel about this behavior? Tell us in the comments. Keep an eye on my 90-Day Fiance Daily channel for more 90-Day Fiance news.